to Fashion Reverie Talks. I'm Tiana Ibrahimovic.
And I am Cicely Daniels.
Fashion Reverie takes you from the front lines of fashion to the front row.
All of Fashion Reverie Talk segments are based on published content found on fashionreverie.com.
So remember, if you want more information on the segments, go to fashionreverie.com.
Now, this is our last episode of the season. So in addition to our fashion news alert, we have our Fashion Reverie Quiz with fashion publicist Scott French.
Also, if you like this episode, and we're pretty sure you will, don't forget to click the subscribe button. We start every episode with fashion news, and all of our news segments are based on the fashion news alert found on fashionreverie.com. So let's jump into the current events in fashion. Cicely, start us off with our latest news of the season.
So, in some news with change, Edward Enninful, a lot of folks were very excited when he took over the helm of British Vogue, especially as a person of color. He was the first Black to serve as editor-in-chief at the British fashion magazine and did a lot of things while he took over British Vogue since 2017, putting the first mixed race model on the cover, having the first man, Timothy Chalamet, to grace the cover also, and climate activist Greta Thunberg on the cover. Now, he is leaving British Vogue, but will stay within the Condé Nast family, assuming the position of Vogue's global creative and cultural advisor, as well as still being associated with British Vogue as an editorial advisor. So it seems like a change, but certainly great accomplishment happened while he was there, and he'll still be creating change and working with Condé Nast, and of course in fashion and with British Vogue. So,
well, it sounds like he just needed a little more vacation days and a little less responsibility, which is understandable. So Gabriela Hearst, she is creating her last collection for iconic French brand Chloe. And this collection will debut at Paris Fashion Week in September. And so since she assumed this creative directorship of Chloe 3 years ago, the sales of the brand rose close to the $1 billion mark. And so Chloe became the first luxury brand to receive a B Corp certification. And so she has her own brand that is very successful and has been funded by LVMH over the past few years. So what has been confirmed is the partnership between Mrs. Hearst and Angelina Jolie on a capsule collection for Chloe of evening wear and ready-to-wear inspired by Jolie's glamorous style. So the capsule collection will be made from low-impact material, and we are yet to see it. So let's see what's in store for Mrs. Hearst.
Yes. Well, that is going to be exciting news. So in other news, the New York City Ballet is moving into its 75th season. And Wes Gordon, who is the creative director of Carolina Herrera, has been slated to design costumes for the George Balanchine Ballet, Who Cares? And it's going to have music by George Gershwin. And Wes Gordon has previously designed costumes for the American Ballet Theater. And I'm sure that it's going to be, I love ballet. So, I feel like whenever ballet and dance really bring in real designers, like I think you can just see the most fantastic kinds of art. The New York City Ballet's Fall Gala, which will celebrate the 75th anniversary of the New York City Ballet, will take place on October 5th. Sarah Jessica Parker will continuing to co-chair the gala alongside Laverne Cox, and then many, many, many stars that will be there. And Sarah Jessica Parker actually conceived this celebration, which is fashion-centric, in 2012.
I'd like to attend that too. I love that red carpet and I love ballet. So I always sneak into my friends' stories to watch it. Yes. Anyway, let's move on to Real Housewives of New York. So, yeah, the legendary housewives like Sonia Morgan and Ramona Singer, Luann de Lesseps, they're all gone from the next season of Housewives. It has been revamped and is supposed to premiere on July 16th on Bravo. So one of the sort of surprise cast members is Jenna Lyons. I hope I pronounced her name correctly. But so she's a former creative director of J. Crew. And she is sort of an unusual addition because she left her position at J. Crew in 2017, got a divorce, and was kind of going through some kind of, I don't know, life changes. So she also turned gay. So she will be the first, like, sort of openly gay cast member of Real Housewives of New York. And I think it is a little bit of an unexpected change, but it looks like fashion industry, according to her statements, did not really, embrace her to get to some other kind of role. So she just accepted Real Housewives of New York position as a cast member. So let's see how that goes. And if some viewership will come back of Real Housewives.
Well, you know what? It is Pride season. I am sure that many members of the community are already possibly Housewives fans. And I always think it's always better to have more representation. So that's great.
Let's see.
Yeah. And that is it for our fashion news alerts for this week. But of course, if you want to stay on top of it, viewers, you know where to go. Go to fashionreverie.com. Now, I am next excited to welcome the one and only Scott French. Even though when Scott comes every once in a while, I have occasionally lost a small quiz to one of my co-hosts. Scott, you are always welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, everyone. I'm here for the quiz. Are you guys ready?
I don't know yet.
So, well, Cicely, you have a little bit of an uphill battle here to unseat the undefeated Tiana Ibrahimovic, who has now, I think, won 5 times in a row. So, yeah, this is the day. I feel it coming on.
Okay, so, we'll see.
So shall we get started?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay, well, I'll start out with a formal introduction. Welcome to the Fashion Reverie Talks Podcast Season 3 End of Season Quiz Show. Our first question is definitely a timely one now that summer's upon us, although if you're here in the Northeast right now, you certainly would not realize that summer's upon us, but we're going to start out with a swimwear question. So question number 1. Which media personality recently graced the cover of Sports Illustrated's swimsuit edition, making her the oldest model ever to be on the cover? Was it 101-year-old Iris Apfel? Was it B? That was A, 101-year-old Iris Apfel. B, 81-year-old Martha Stewart. Or C, 75-year-old Mae Musk. So A is Iris Apfel, B is Martha Stewart, or C is Mae Musk. A good one. Let's see. We have 2. Cicely says B and Tiana says B. Well, as much as I would like to say as a 101-year-old Iris Apfel, so I've known Iris for a long time and she's fabulous.
She's next.
Was not. She's next, perhaps. Actually, the real answer is indeed B, 81-year-old Martha Stewart. A little bit about Martha quickly. When Martha was 10, she got her start working as a babysitter in her local New Jersey community. Oddly enough, her main clients were 3 Yankees baseball players, and we know their names. There's Mickey Mantle's family, Yogi Berra's family, and Gil McDougald's family. All of them played for the New York Yankees, and she got her beginning of her career by planning birthday parties for little kids, and she was babysitting. So that's where she got her little take on party planning. And then she moved into modeling later. And a little bit of a side note, she actually did a Chanel ad as a model, and she was paid a whopping $50 an hour for it. So I think that Martha got a little bit more probably for this cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue, but from Chanel to Sports Illustrated, straight out a bad career. So
wow,
Yeah.
That puts us at a 1-1 right now, Cicely. You are tied with the reigning champion here.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so number 2, which fashion designer recently quit his job as creative director of the iconic Italian fashion brand? Okay, was it A, menswear designer John Bartlett, B, former Calvin Klein creative director Francisco Costa, or C, fashion sort of bad boy Jeremy Scott? So A, John Bartlett, B, Francisco Costa, or C, Jeremy Scott? Here we go. Here's the moment of truth. So Cicely says C, and Tiana says C. Well, you guys have been paying attention very well. It actually was Jeremy Scott who recently left his position of Moschino after 10 years on the job. I did not realize it was 10 years, but it was a great 10 years for him. So great. I'm going to tell you a little known fact, a little bragging point for me here. Jeremy Scott was actually one of my students when he was in school, and he was a senior at Pratt Institute of Art, and he graduated in fashion design, and I was his senior critic. I'm not going to discuss what I gave him for his grade, but it's a bit of a controversial choice, I might add. He was a bit of a difficult student in that he was creative beyond his belief, and he would never, ever do his project because he would do his project starting with one sketch and finish somewhere else. They were all fabulous, but I'm like, how do I grade this person? He's not doing what he's supposed to do. So anyway, he was a wildly creative person. But yes, Jeremy Scott was one of my students many years ago. So we are now tied 2-2. And I have a feeling after this next question, we might be tied again because this question was just looking about a little bit ago.
Oh, good.
Which fashion designer recently joined the cast of The Real Housewives of New York City? Was it A, Donna Karan, B, Jenna Lyons, or C, Nanette Lepore? A, Donna Karan, B, Jenna Lyons, or C, Nanette Lepore? Okay, yeah, you had better get this one right. Both of you got it right with me. Jenna Lyons is most noted for her time at J. Crew, where she was credited with making J. Crew into a true mega brand and a real force in fashion. However, little did we know, she got her job at J. Crew. She was only 21 years old when she was tasked, ready for this one, with breathing some new life into men's rugby shirts. So we all have to start somewhere. It seemed that she did pretty well because she was, only a few years later, found herself being vice president of women's design at J. Crew. One little note, as we mentioned in the news earlier, Jenna is joining the cast of Real Housewives of New York City as the first member of the LGBTQ community ever to be on the show. So there's a lot of excitement around that. So bravo to Jenna. So we'll see where she goes from there. Here's the one that sort of stumped me. I had to do a little bit of research on this one. Which number 4? Which pop singer recently joined forces with Donatella Versace for a capsule collection? So, which pop singer recently joined forces with legendary Donatella Versace for a capsule collection? Was it A, Dua Lipa, B, Megan Thee Stallion, or C, Madonna? We have A, Dua Lipa, B, Megan Thee Stallion, or C, Madonna. Any of these could be good candidates for this, but one of them actually did it. Are we ready to show our answers? I see a couple puzzled looks on our faces here.
Okay. I don't know.
Oh, we have B. Okay, A is Dua Lipa, B is Megan Thee Stallion, and C is Madonna. And one of these people has joined forces to create a capsule collection in partnership with Donatella Versace. So I'm going to have to call for your final answers here. Cicely is in at A. Tiana. Uh-oh. Drum roll. Here we go. And A. Well, guess what? It's still tied. It is correct. It is A. Dua Lipa has joined forces with Donatella Versace for a capsule collection. A little bit of a side note. I like to give a little side note here. Dua Lipa grew up in England in a family of mixed Eastern European backgrounds, actually. She auditioned for her school choir at 9 years old. It's told by the choir director she did not get a position in the choir because, quote, she couldn't sing. And she said she needed to figure out another career, actually. She told her she wanted to be a singer. So that person's taken place about her doing voice now. She immediately entered voice lessons, began modeling and acting. Her breakout moment in music came when she sang the soundtrack for a commercial that premiered during the X Factor, and it got her noticed. She's also modeled in at a major ad for Topshop. She's always been a keen interest in fashion, and we're glad she saw it. They're mutual fans, and that collection's coming out soon. So she'll be able to wear some Dua Lipa X Versace soon. Shall we move on? And we're going into number 5 now, neck and neck, 4 and 4. This may be our first ever tie here. So come on, Tiana, you got to send some good vibes your way. So get Cicely off her game here.
Oh,
no! Question 5. The BBC, which we know British Broadcasting Corporation, recently premiered a documentary about this famous fashion designer. It was a 2-part documentary, and who was that famous fashion designer? Was it A, Yves Saint Laurent, B, Karl Lagerfeld, or C, Albert Elbaz? All 3 of them are deserving. All 3 have passed recently, but was it A, Yves Saint Laurent, B, Karl Lagerfeld, or C, Albert Elbaz? So we have 2 B as well. Are you both ready or you're both wrong? You're both correct. By the way, the film just came out, or it's coming out very, very soon. I think it just was released. It's entitled The Mysterious Mr. Lagerfeld. As I mentioned, it's a 2-part piece in which many of Lagerfeld's friends share stories and offer insights into his life that was not in the public view. The film also talks about some benefactors of his will that were very unusual benefactors of his will. One of which was Princess Stephanie of Monaco, who received a collection of trinkets from Karl's home. We're not sure what those trinkets are. I have a feeling some of Karl's trinkets are things that I would love to get my hands on in many museums, but as well. Also, his cat Choupette was in the will, and a male model, Baptiste, pardon me, Baptiste, if I got your name wrong, Giovanni, whom Karl Lagerfeld reportedly tried to adopt as an adult. The courts blocked it because he had a real father and he was much, much older than the necessary 18 to be adopted. But they claimed they never had a relationship. They were just very fond of each other. He and Karl wanted to make any sons. So it's a lot of.
And I have a friend who's part of his will.
Oh, you do?
Oh,
yes, my friend Susan.
Is? Oh, really? I did not know that. We gotta talk offline on that one. Yeah, but the will supposedly had a lot of very unusual names listed. It was a very long list of people, and he gave some very unusual things. So that's gonna be a fun one to watch. Maybe it's a featured news alert, and that the details of that come out. So this is a really, really interesting situation. We are going into question 6, tied 5 and 5. So in many ways, it's a 1-question quiz, and here it comes. Here it is.
Gosh.
This is the one that may cause you a positive thing. Question 6. Which famous fashion brand is collaborating with Mattel and creating a Barbie-inspired collection? Is it A, Banana Republic, B, Victoria's Secret, or C, The Gap? Will Barbie be wearing khaki? Will she be wearing intimate apparel? Or will she be wearing sweatshirts? That's the question here. So A, Banana Republic, B, Victoria's Secret, or C, The Gap. There's a lot resting on this one, Cicely. So
I know. I'm so sad. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh no.
All right, I don't know. No.
Okay. Cicely's on record with C, The Gap. Tiana's on record with C, The Gap. What do we do here? Maybe you are both correct again. So we can't claim that Cicely won, but we can claim that she shares the top spot with Tiana in this case. Yes, it's The Gap. The collection is entitled The Gap X Mattel, and actually they'll be doing several product collaborations with Mattel to coincide with the launch of the upcoming Barbie film. And I think it's in July. The clothes will feature the iconic personality, but the collaboration goes well beyond just Barbie, just so you all know. So if you're not a Barbie fan, or some of the audience that may not be into Barbie, I can't say boys or girls. Today, everybody's a fan. There's also going to be Hot Wheels and a couple other Mattel collaborations as well. So it's going to be called The Gap X Mattel. It's going to be a piece for everyone out there. So I guess they're going to have to figure out who the actual winner is here. Both people are winners, but I'll declare a winner on the side by those of you who want to send me some special things after the show ends here. So I can be bought. So anyway, no worries. So now, Tiana, you're still a 6-time winner. And Cicely, you're a one-time tire with the all-time champion, so you're up there now. You're placing.
It's a miracle! Oh my gosh!
Okay, so congratulations. So those of you who want to learn more about these stories and read more, you can find them all on fashionreverie.com. Look through the history. You'll find them. Many of them are on the front page. But I want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of this amazing end of season show. Thank you so much.
Oh, Scott, it was such a pleasure. Thank you, Scott.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Well, viewers, that's it for this episode of Fashion Reverie Talks.
Of course, we would like to thank our guest, Scott French. And for all of our viewers, we do have a Night Out on the Town giveaway contest. For the winners, there are some great prizes. And so for more information, please go to fashionreverie.com.
And for information on these and other stories, go to fashionreverie.com. Thanks for watching.